Hey everyone, it's the Procrastinating Professor, and today we're going to be painting the Aeronautica Imperialis Necrons that we had previously unboxed on this channel. So for starters, we are of course going to be priming the entire model. In this case, we're going to be using black, followed by a satin varnish. When we are using color shifters, as we're going to be doing in the next step, I always recommend using either a satin or glossy undercoat. So using an airbrush, we apply dark green tint as a base coat. I very strongly recommend using an airbrush for this sort of paint because they don't work super well with a normal brush, I'm afraid. And you'll notice that I didn't actually spray the entire model with it, but rather I only focused on the areas which I perceived would be lightest. So you can see me pointing out here with my brush, certain areas were sprayed with the green, and certain areas were deliberately either not sprayed at all, leaving the black undercoat to show through, or just very lightly sprayed. You also notice that the video quality is a lot better because I got a new camera, and hopefully the videos in this channel moving forward will be of better quality. So again, you can see here bright, dark, and that helps improve the contrast of the model. Now we're going to push the highlights even further with green, gold, cold blue. This is such a long title. But again, using an airbrush, I am focusing only on the areas that again I perceive would be the brightest. I also used a normal brush down here to edge highlight the entire model. I mentioned earlier that a normal brush doesn't work very well for base coating, but you can kind of still make them work for just edge highlighting. So you can see the entire model basically is edge highlighted with this. And of course, I'm also going to show you my night shroud. Again, you can see down here I'm pointing it out with my brush. Bright areas, dark areas, all add to the contrast of the model. Sometimes people unfortunately think that when you're using a color shifting paint, you can just coat the entire model and the color shift itself will magically create the contrast. But why not make the contrast even better by intentionally only focusing your highlights and your shades in certain areas? So speaking of increasing the contrast even further, I use Game Air Silver for extreme edge highlighting. You'll notice that I did not paint the entire edge with this color, but only kind of the edges of all of the different various armor panels that are on the model. So there you go. You can kind of see it down here. And using my camera again, usually I would put the model on a spinning round table, but I figured that everyone would like to see how these color shift paints kind of work on the model at the end of the day. Now in this case, I actually covered the entire model with satin varnish after I was done because the paints themselves are extremely glossy, and that really wasn't the look that I was going for. Unfortunately, when you satin varnish the paint, it kind of does lose a little bit of its shifting properties, but not entirely. But it still kind of makes for a very nice greenish color, and you can kind of see this sort of slightly reddish brownish kind of color in the background. It doesn't get picked up very well on the camera, but it's definitely there. I also of course painted the normal matte green areas with Necrotite green from the P3 line and highlighted them using a combination of yellows and whites. And finished off the silvers with just straight up, well, silver. So with that said, I hope that this video has been helpful to all of you. Please do consider subscribing to the channel and supporting me on my other various different social media platforms as well. So thank you all for watching and take care.